This is Chuck Huber, the voice of Android 17. You're listening to Anime Seekers. You better be, or I'm coming for you. Dragon of the Darkness, Flame!
If you don't know who I am Kevin from the Assuming Positions podcast. I will be one of your moderators. The other one is Mikey. He is my co-host of the Assuming Positions podcast. You can find us at Assuming Pod on all the instas. We have many interviews with these folks out here. Hopefully, we will get some more interviews with the ones we haven't talked to yet this weekend, so you guys can listen to that. But it's not about us, it's about them, the voice actors that have come here to Baycon. So we'll let them introduce themselves. I think we'll go right to left so Matt can eventually make it here. So, Drew, introduce yourself.
All right, hey guys, what's up? My name is Drew Breedlove. I am known for Meguru Bachira in Bluelock. I also play Mitsuki Kiryu in Windbreaker and Oliver Horn in Reign of Seven Spellblades. I'm super happy to come out and say hi to all you guys. Thanks for showing up.
Hey there guys, I am Kevin D. Thelwell. Okay. Kevin D. Thelwell here. I am a voice actor and assistant director over at crunchyroll. I've played lots of characters. I am Zeus in One Piece, Kida in Haikyuu, Loki in Bluelock. I play leads in shows like Now Young Girlfriend, Beast Tamer, I play Social and Rule the World, and Am I Actually the Strongest? And directed on shows like My Tiny Senpai, the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You, and so much more.
Yeah!
Hello everybody, my name is Gremillion. I'm a native Houstonian, and great to be here this weekend for the first time at Baycon. You might know me as Gentle Criminal in My Hero Academia, Hawkeye Mihawk in One Piece, Chef Chappelle in Food Wars. And let's see what else. Lots of brand new show by the way that just hit Hulu and it's going to be on Max. It's called it's the Suicide Squad Isekai. I play Cecil in that one. That's a really badass show. Go watch that. Thanks for being here. Great to be here.
Hello, my name is Chuck Huber. You may know me as Android 17, or Kie, or Dr. Stein, or Austria, or Kurogiri from My Hero Academia, or a bunch of other ones. I'm really happy to be here. This is my third Baycon. I think it's the third Baycon. I think I was at the very first one.
Oh, you made it.
I was at the very first. It was very, very much smaller than this one. This is it's awesome. It reminds me of old school anime conventions, and I think they should continue doing that because it's fun.
Microphone, hello.
Hey guys, it's great to be here. My name is Stephanie Nadolny. I'm a voice actor. I am also a vocalist who's singing since I was right out of high school in live bands, Vince Vance and the Valiants. I've done anime themes for Yu Yu Hakusho, Sayonara Bye Bye, opening and closing themes for Kitty Parade, Case Closed. I'm also mostly known for my voices of Kikoku from Dragon Ball and Gore from Dragon Ball Z. He's good, baby drugs, and KO from OK KO. Let's be heroes. I grew up in Spring, Texas, so it's kind of like coming home. Great to be here. Hope you have an awesome day.
Cacao! Hey everybody, I'm Matthew Elkins. I'm a voice actor, comedian, all the above. One of my favorite things that I get to do is I'm a voice actor at Medieval Times. Did I just say Medieval Times? God damn it. I also work at Medieval Times, sorry. I'm a voice actor. Some of the shows you might recognize me from are I play Micah in Kaiju number 8. I play Septuro in Natsume's Book of Friends. I play Edgar from Where and Beast Tamer. I play Poker from One Piece. And many others. But one of my favorite ones that I'm really excited to talk about is I play Santetsu from Bluelock. And I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in case y'all haven't seen it. The Bluelock movie, Episode Nagi, is in theaters right now, all over North America. So please go check it out. You know, it's in Cinemark, AMC, Studio Movie Grill, wherever you watch movies. We were supposed to be done on Tuesday, but it's doing so well they pushed it to Thursday. Doing so well they pushed it to Saturday, and I think Drew just told me what it's pushed to next Thursday. Next Thursday. So you got a minute. Go check it out, please. You'll see me and Drew in there, Kevin in there, right? Kevin, are you in that one? What? I didn't say anything. But anyways, what? You heard nothing. But anyways, sorry. I play Zantetsu. He's kind of like the idiot of the group, and it was definitely a typecast. So you're fine, trust me, because it's right on the money. But anyways, I'm definitely ditzy. Sorry. But yeah, when y'all check it out, tag us in something. Let us know if you like our work. Say, hey, we loved it. If you hate our work, like, hey, y'all suck. But just whatever. But it's a pleasure to be here. I'm psyched out of my mind. Got some familiar faces and also some new people that I haven't got to work with before or talk with. So I'm pumped. Cacao, let's do it. Cacao.
It's so awesome to have a variety of cast members and actors here and representing everybody. I will pick on John specifically just because I saw it. There's a Mihawk cosplay here. What is it like to see the character you voice and fans show up and it's the property that you have helped create? What is that experience like?
That's a great question. And also, I think that applies across the board. I've seen cosplays for a lot of characters here that some of us might have saved me playing. It's always fun. It's always really, really great. Mihawk's a great character. I've been playing him for 20 years, which is insane. But when you think about it, because when I showed up for the first time, I had no idea he was going to, One Piece was going to be what it is, and it still is. And if they don't finish the manga soon, my last sword battle, I'll be in a wheelchair. I'll be like, Zoro! don't move! Just throw a sword at him. Get off my lawn. Mihawk will be telling me to get off the lawn. No, it's great. It's an honor. It's such a pleasure to see people cosplaying characters that they play because it really brings it full circle. It's like Chuck was saying with the old school anime. Anytime I've been to an anime convention from years ago up to now, there's a spirit to it that stays consistent, and that's that these characters mean something to people, and it's great to see people cosplay because it reminds you of that. It keeps that fresh in your mind. I'm really excited about it.
Fan interactions for the rest of you. Has there any crazy cosplay that you didn't expect, or is there a character you get known most for that you see the most and is always crazy to see? What is your cosplay interactions or any funny con stories if you have?
Funny con story? But I was just going to say there is a legit cosplaying Kie here, and she is just an amazing. The wig work on it is just pretty incredible. But the cosplay that people love to hate the most is when I've had several people cosplay Shao Tucker holding one was a live dog with a wig, one was a stuffed dog with a wig, so that's always fun to watch people cry.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt
I see
anybody.
a lot of Gokus all along the way, which is always super cool. It kind of keeps that fresh in memory as well. I always find it super cool when people dress up like Cell Saga Gohan. It's a little more rare, and it's a really, a big arc for me and a big piece of work that I'm really, really happy to have been a part of. It meant so much. So I like to see that. Now, I've not yet seen anybody cosplay Sky. That's a first. That would be a first. But I have seen some baby Trunks, like there'll be a Bulma, walking around with a little baby, dressed like they're so cute. So yeah, and I agree with them. This old school stuff is like what all began for us when we started doing cosplay back in 2000 or whatever. There's definitely a spirit about it that needs to be kept alive. We're very grateful for that.
I kind of want to piggyback off that. It's really cool how the variations in cosplay, right? So you can have like a very simple, like Bachita, right? He's just like a simple sports jersey and a wig, right? But then I see so many different variations. I've seen like one of my first cosplayers was like she was a Bachita, but like in a Bumblebee onesie, and like I've seen femme Bachita, and all sorts of different variations. It's really cool to see how creative people can get with just one character, right? And they'll come up to you with all the different, and then usually they do a great job with it too. So that part's pretty cool.
I think for people's draftsmanship their cosplay is crazy too. I remember one event I was at. There was somebody who had a Nami cosplay, and She made a Zeus umbrella to carry around with her and kind of mimic how Nami's in the show. And oh, that's so great. Especially the fact that, to get to where One Piece is right now, Zeus is like episode 700 and something, so you already show your dedication by knowing what's going on with that and getting through all those episodes. So it's always really nice to see.
Well, I know for me, and I'll just be honest, this is my first time seeing my characters on Tetsu cosplay. So I was really excited about that because I go to a lot of conventions with Drew. He probably wants to deny this, but we're best friends. But he always says bocce. Everywhere we go, doing bocce. And today I got to see my first non-Tetsu one, so I was like, ha-ha! I got one! That was really fun for me.
It's always good to stuff it in your best friend's face.
Yeah!
So hey, just the background for me and Matt. He's a knight at medieval times. He was going to say that earlier, but you'll find that he likes to switch things a lot. So he's a knight at medieval times, and I used to squire there, and so we go way back. So it's fun. His mom makes great tacos. Yeah. he comes over and auditions at my house all the time because I have a booth, and yeah, my mom does make pretty great tacos. I'm not gonna lie on that one.
I thought like he just comes over and auditions like for your house.
Yeah.
Get a gig here.
We'll audition for food.
Yeah.
Give me some tacos.
Yes. Yeah. But great question.
I'm going to pitch you guys again. I put it to all you, but now speaking of putting it to your friends, I will pitch you all against each other. We have voice actors that do younger voices. We have voice actors that do the heavy gravitas in control. We have the high energy, maybe possessed sports players that are way louder than they should be. Who on the stage? Sorry, that was a compliment. Who on the stage probably has the hardest voice to do? Who's going to take that one? Or the easiest voice to do? I don't know when my cop's pretty lazy, but...
The hardest voices to do are the ones that wreck your throat the most.
Yeah,
You know
I was
what I'm
gonna
saying?
say.
So I've done characters where, my voice is like this, and I decide to do it like Cookie Monster or something like that. And then I decide, hey, that's a great voice. You don't realize you could do this for 3 hours, so it's really going to wreck your voice. And I love the fact that I've got a deeper voice. And so I usually play the cop or the dad or the cop's dad or the dad who calls the cop on the other dad. Or just some corporate guy who's very low key, etc. And Mihawk never has to scream, he never has to yell, he just shows up and goes, hello, how about ask goodbye, and then he goes away. So I'm grateful for that. If I had a much younger voice and I was a much younger dude, I'd probably be screaming a lot more, and I've done enough damage to my cords over the years that I'm grateful I'm not doing that. But yeah, the hardest ones are just the ones that kill you.
I probably have the easiest character on. Android 17 is absolutely the easiest character I've ever done. The only notes I've ever gotten for Android 17 were act less. Just relax. Relax and just try to say the line without any emotion. Like, that's all I do. I'm just dead inside.
Well, for me, it's pretty obvious. Last time I checked, I'm a girl, but I mostly play young boy characters. But for me, I was thinking it'd be this, Gohan voice for a while, and then it's Goku, and then I got into the Cell Saga, and all of a sudden Gohan is like the I can't even say if that's a word, groveliest, but it's literally like screaming and yelling from the depths of the balls that I don't have. It's for hours and hours, and let's do this. I mean, that's very painful, but I'm a rock singer, and I was traveling and touring all the time, all over the United States, singing with a R&B, soul, jazz, Motown, rock reviews. So my chops were rocking. I was utilizing them, and thank God I got through those sessions. They were definitely the hardest ones. For me, that's probably pretty obvious. And East Kai is just super crazy fun. The Charlie in the box, right?
Nobody wants a Charlie in the box.
Oh my! And Baby Trunks is easy. He just cries all the time. And he pees on Yajirobe. That's a great scene.
I'd say not exactly a super hard voice for me to do, but Naoya in Girlfriend is really tiring because all he does is yell every line he does, and At the end of every season, it's usually either him sprinting after one of his girlfriends doing some giant speech about how much he loves her, or in the second season, he does a whole triathlon where he's swimming with a girl on his back, talking about how he doesn't want her to die and how much he blah, 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 blah. And it's just crazy amount of yelling while physical exertion. And when I get out of the booth, I'm like, woo! And it kicks my ass, but it's super fun.
All right, Matt, you can go. Go ahead, Matt.
No comment.
Fair point. No, okay, fair point. So for Bachata, he's actually pretty easy for those of you musicians out there.
All I do is just put him in my head voice, and then it just gives it this like musicality to it.
And that one's pretty easy. But 3 to 4 hours, doing something grovelly or something doesn't sound like a long time, but it's a very long time. It is a very long time, and you do that multiple times, sometimes a week, or you do that every week. It starts to really add up, and you start to really feel it. So kudos to the grovelly actors, because that's not easy.
The pain you go through, literally, to do it well, it's always worth it. But my voice is actually naturally lowered, not just because I'm older, but because I was singing in rock bands and voicing go on, and so mine just kind of naturally. So I'm kind of like cool with it because I like try to use it to my advantage. Like when I'm singing Aretha Franklin, what you want, baby? It's like I use it to my advantage. So, but it's changed my voice really, just doing those characters.
Do we have any questions from the floor? This is a Q&A. Yes. Right here, right up front.
Okay, this is for Miss Stephanie. So out of all the Gohans you had to play, which one would you say was your favorite age for him?
Probably the beginning that was my first role ever in anime, and so that would have been the Ginyu Saga, somewhere around 50-something. That was kind of like the birth of my anime voice acting career. So I had like a soft spot for Gohan with the bowl cut, standing in the background, mostly going, Dad! Just doesn't really say much. It's a lot of shock and awe. Coming up with all the different, reactions. They called me the reactress because a lot of my lines back then were reactions. The reactress. And so, how many times and ways can you do open mouth, shock and awe? Okay, closed mouth, shock and awe, and then like the little landing exertions and stuff like that. So I have a big heart for that because it started me in the industry, but I think some of the best work and the more fun work for me, because it's comedic and silly, is Goku and Dragon Ball. Innocent, pure of heart, doesn't know what a girl is, Why do women have butts on their chest? Cute. Only Goku can get away with that, right?
I think it's, this is totally off topic. Drew told you I like to go on tangents, but you know how you're talking about the reacts? It's so funny whenever you record, like you can do like monologue after monologue. Like let's say you have like a 4-hour or 6-hour session, and you're like, you feel like you're just killing it. You just boom, boom, boom. And then sometimes like you'll go to do a react, and the director will be like, no, do it again. And you're like, okay. No, do it again. No. Really be afraid. And you spend like 30 minutes getting a react, and I'm just like, how the hell is that possible? Yeah. We just did like perfect take for 3 hours, and now you're harping on the react? It's just really funny.
All right, we have another question over here.
What is a line of dialogue that you have said that sort of lives rent-free in your head, whether it be because it's funny or because it's actually like meaningful to you?
Can I take this one?
Oh yeah. And it's for any of you guys up there. The thing you're in the shower and you're like, why do I keep saying that?
So, like I was plugging it earlier, I'll plug it again. We just did the Bluelock movie, right? And there's a line of dialogue in there that is kind of like a comedic line that a lot of people in the theaters will laugh at. But I like to think that when they go home, it really meant something to them, because it really means something to me. So Zantetsu's an idiot, right? So he's very unintelligent, but his whole thing is that he does the best that he can. He's aware of his flaws, and he wants to do whatever he can to be better, right? And so he's talking to Nagi, and he tells Nagi, like, hey, the reason I'm so passionate about soccer is because I might be an idiot, but I'm going to be the best idiot alive. And that just kind of captures this human spirit to me. It's like, oh, none of us are perfect. Everybody's got flaws, everybody's got mistakes, but I know everybody wakes up in the morning going, today I'm going to be the best version of me that I can be. Today I'm going to be the best version of me that I can be. And that's how I feel every day when I wake up. It's like, I'm not perfect. I've got problems, but I will be the best version of me that I can possibly be. And that really means a lot to me.
There's an interesting psychological thing going on there too, because if you are starting with the premise that I'm going to be the best idiot, it's got two things going on. You're sort of, kneecapping your ego at the front end, and then habituating the behavior you want on top of it. So you're setting expectations low, and then going after it with drive. Yeah, it's fun to play with. Yeah,
Optimistic though, I like that.
Yeah.
For me, there's a couple, mainly the ones that a lot of the fans come up and like for me to write, like Santa Funko Pop quote. One of the most popular for Goku is "Power Pole Extend." It's like I hear that in my head all the time, and then of course the funny ones. The first time he meets Bulma, Bulma wants his Dragon Ball, and Goku's like, "That's my grandpa. You're not going to get my Dragon Ball." And she's like, "Well, what if I show you a little peek?" And he goes, "What do I care about seeing your dirty old fanny?" That's another one. He has no desire. He doesn't even know she's a girl and finds out, okay, and he's still not interested. So I like that one.
I picture you putting on like a gray wig and glasses and having a stand-up comedy character called Dirty Old Fanny.
That was my nickname. Yeah. I guess
Dirty old Fanny. I'm getting worse as I age.
There's a line that fans of Shin-Chan make me sing actually. To be a man, you must have honor and a penis. Which is always fun to yell out loud in polite company. But I also like that line because we rewrote it. The original line that the scriptwriters had written, and that show goes over the line very far. The original line was like, that's not what it is to be a man, whatever they had written. So we would often rewrite in Shin-Chan. And I said, to be a man, you have to have honor. And then our engineer goes, and a penis. And we're like, oh, yeah, we got our line.
There you go. Wow. That got added in? Oh, wow.
Mihawk's line that a lot of people like me to quote is, know yourself, know the world, become stronger, and surpass me. And Mihawk himself, he's kind of like Sir Lancelot. He's a little bit like, he feels cursed because he says, oh, no one can beat me. And that's kind of a lonely place to be. I want somebody to beat me. I want somebody to challenge me. I want somebody to show me. I don't want to be at the top. It's lonely at the top. And so he's not conceited about it. He's kind of sad about it. And so it's kind of interesting, but I love the fact that he still has a moral code underneath. He still has something encouraging to say to other people. It's like, I'm encouraged by you. When he meets Zoro, he's fascinated by the fact that Zoro would rather die than admit defeat. He's like, that's pretty badass. I like you. You're kind of waking me up here. So I tell you what, come see me sometime when you I'm waiting for it. Do it. Right? So he's gonna wait for him. I can't wait till they have the final fight. And I'm gonna say this too. A lot of people ask me, what do you think is gonna happen in the final fight between the two of them? And what I hope, I don't know this. I know I don't know the writers. We don't have lunch. I don't know what's going on just because I played both. But I hope that Zoro at some point is good enough, gets the better of him, is capable of surpassing him, but out of respect, he doesn't kill him. He just marks him in the same way and they call it a draw. It's out of respect. That's what I really wish would happen. That's what I hope. Anyway, but that's my favorite line because of those reasons.
My favorite line, going back to Girlfriend, is one we actually improv'd in the booth, and it's just out of context. It's really funny, but it's just essentially, sir, you don't understand. Your daughter is creating thirst traps at a pro level. And that was just a really good time, just showing how dumb that character is, and really genuine and honest talking to this dude.
So, classic botcheder line is, there's a monster in me. You know what I mean?
And what's really cool about the monster, though, is I think it's very symbolic, right? For those of you, spoiler by the way, if you watch the show, Bachata is very happy-go-lucky. He plays soccer because he enjoys it, right? And he's seemingly in a very toxic environment because everyone's trying to slit each other's throat and be the best, but he's just there to have a good time. And what's very interesting is later on in the season, he starts comparing himself to everybody, and he starts to fall behind. When naturally, all throughout the season, he's the best player. But when he starts comparing himself, he's not that great anymore. And finally, he's like, you know what? I'm going to get rid of the monster. I'm going to stop comparing myself. And then he just destroys the other team by himself. And it's a really cool moment for him. And I really like how he's very symbolic in the sense that, like, no matter what you do, you should do it because you enjoy it, not because, like, you want to be the best or you want to be better than other people. You know what I mean? And so that's why I really like Bocce. And I like that specific line. There's a lot more to it than just, a fun line. And then speaking of fun lines, you'll never hear it because it's in the background, of a monologue. But Team Z beat Team V. And then, we had to add our voices to it. And somewhere in there is Bocce saying, "Great job, guys, you did it, you filthy little egoists."
Any other questions out there? Wait, yes, I like it. Put your hands up, let me know, I'll come to you.
This was for Chuck. I want to know what scene made you think, wow, my character's a badass.
So many, it's hard to choose. Hiei's Dragon of the Darkness Flame in the Dark Tournament is probably up at the top. Android 17 said, "Look at me being all human, sacrificing himself." That was amazing. And Dr. Stein's entrance where he falls off a chair, it's like, he's just, I was like, this guy's gonna be amazing. But those would be my top three.
Hi, nice to see you all. Hi. So this is for my older voice actors. I want to know how the voice acting industry, as I say older, the most respected. I want to know how the voice acting industry has changed over, say, like the past 30 years, and like what are some of the good, the bad, the things you like, dislike, things like that.
One thing.
Is this a dangerous question?
It is a bit. When I auditioned for ADV Films back in the late 90s, anime was on VHS only. VHS tape, anybody know what that is? You had to choose between sub or dub. They cost a lot of money per VHS tape. You had 4 episodes per tape. You had to rewind and fast forward.
How much was it for 4 tape?
Oh gosh,
like 120.
No. For a VHS tape it was maybe $12 or something. And then for now the same amount of money you could stream anything you want on your phone all day long. Yeah. So huge, massive difference between the accessibility of anime and when you were a voice actor back then. If you wanted to do any kind of research in advance about a role that you were going to play, hey John, come play this role. Well, who is it? I don't know. What's the plot like? I have no idea. You had to go get a VHS tape of the sub. You had to study it. You had to this, and we didn't have time to do that. We had day jobs. We had other stuff. So if I go into this, most of the time I would go into the studio back then. I walk in and it's a cold reading improv exercise. I have no idea what I'm doing, who the character is, what the plot is. I'm in episodes 3, 8, 19, 20, and then I die in 24. And we record the entire thing. And I have no idea who this person is. So you walk in knowing nothing. That's why being an actor, I'm getting off on a tangent, but that's why being an actor is so important in voice acting. Because you have to have improvisational skills, you have to be directable, you have to be able to work with people, come up with stuff, show emotion. With someone you've never even met, don't even know what the plot is. There's so many animes that I've done that I could not explain the plot to you today. Because I walked in going, who is this? What is it? Okay. And you've got to just go. So today, if I want to do some research before I get I can stream the sub episode beforehand. I can look at the other side. I've got much more access to what I want to study. If I want to study it before I go into the studio, that's a huge difference. I'm sure other people have other points they make.
Probably the biggest difference between when we first started and now is that you used to have to shamefully hide your embarrassing anime habit. And now anime, like, is the cool thing for the world, and that's massively different. I think the COVID did a lot to propel that over the edge, but it has been so good to us as actors, and I have friends who are, do A-lister movies, in all the Pirates movies or whatever, Wolverine, and they're like, how do I get into anime? And I'm like, how do I get into Pirates of the Caribbean? But they don't have the fandom that we have, and so for that we're very lucky. I'm so happy it keeps going.
I agree. I'm definitely one of the older ones up here, dropping my glasses. So it used to just be a smaller community of talent, amazing talent. DFW has amazing talent. That's why they brought it there. And no residuals, no royalties. We were able to make good money. It was a really small company. We had a bank building. We had one booth, one ADR director, one. It was very small, close knit, kind of who you know, and then it kind of grew. And next thing you know, we have an actual Studio A. Then we finally had a Studio B and Studio C. And we started picking up new properties. I say we, they, Funimation. Blue Gender, Yu Yu Hakusho, Case Closed. It was, I got drastically involved in the music because I was working with Brave Combo, Carl Finch did a lot to direct the music for the anime themes, which I don't think they do that anymore. But we had a lot of fun taking the Japanese lyrics and putting them into English, and it was very challenging. And I got to direct some other singers and bring some other singers in. So it was just such a cool little small kind of thing. And now, you fast forward, it's hard to even get back in, even if you're seasoned, if you've got an IMDb or whatever, because everybody wants to do it, and so the competition is ginormous. And so whether you've done it or not, it doesn't always seem to matter. You just have to keep pounding the pavement and open a different door or close a door and go down a different pathway. Or like he said, I want to get back into singing. I want to record an album again. So there's other things you can do, but it's like it's not. There's such a huge amount of anime going in and out so quickly, and there's such a huge community of talented actors, so I think it's just gotten fiercely competitive, which isn't a bad thing. It's good to be, challenged like that, but it's just much more difficult, and everybody wants to get into it, it seems like. They come to us and ask us, and I'm like, I'm not a casting director. I did this 20 years ago, 15, I want to help people so badly, but all I can do is help coach, like he does in classes and stuff like that. So that, for me, that's how it's changed. But the Comic-Cons keep us in the loop and keep our bills paid. So for that, I'm very grateful. So yeah, we get to hang out with you guys face to face. The best part.
Oh, another one. Let me go to him because he doesn't have to. I feel so much like Donahue. The older ones get it. Thank you.
All right. This question is for anyone. Take it. It's going about the voice acting and voice work. How do y'all preserve your voice or minimize the damage to your vocal cords?
Lots of herbal tea and cough drops and water. That's all the really, for me personally, I don't know about you. I mean, everyone's got their own little thing, but that's what I use a lot. So Sleep, yeah.
If you have insomnia, that makes it harder.
Yes, no.
I had insomnia, like, how am I going to have a voice in the morning?
I have the voice of a child, like prepubescent, so if I don't do vocal warm-ups before I do any session, I will crack like I'm going through puberty. I took like voice from the stage classes in college. They taught a lot of stretches, a lot of warm-ups exercises. Got a little metal singing straw that I do warm-ups through, do my enunciation exercises, do a whole gambit before I do any of my sessions, because directors love it when you crack when you act as a teenager, but me, I die inside. So yeah, I'm gonna do that.
There's throat coat tea. There's a tea called throat coat that's really good. Slippery elm is like this these little lozenges. There's all kinds of stuff to do. Surprisingly, sometimes when you're gunked up in your throat, a little bit of whiskey or some potato chips, believe it or not, will help kind of just kind of get something like that. It's salty, something like that. It's funny that they were talking about sleep. There's a funny story. I had to record, what is it, Kagarugi? I forget what it is. But there's cards involved, and it's a game show, and I was I was the announcer, and I'm blah, 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 blah. We're going to do the game show. And one night, for some reason, I could not fall asleep to save my life. I had a session at 9 o'clock in the morning as that announcer, and I didn't sleep 1 second. I was up all night. And then I just went to the studio, and I felt like garbage, and I just had to turn it on. That's the great thing about voice acting, is that you don't have to look good. You don't have to feel good.
Here's what you're wearing.
You can flip-flops and nothing else, but you've got to sound right, so you've got to be able to turn it on at some point. So I just kind of pounded it out for like an hour, and that's a blessing, I guess.
I mean, like I said, the sync with this, I would use a steamer. I would like, because I was singing and doing voices during the week, like I was constantly bashing my voice, so I had like all these remedies, and I would just, put my head over the steamer, and it was just kind of like, you need moisture, because you'd be all dried and fried, so moisture's good, lots of water, lots of sleep, and just all the other things they said, great stuff.
Luck. But, oh God, I hope my voice feels better by tomorrow. So.
Hello again. So, for the people who have had their character in live action, whatever capacity that is, can you tell me your first reaction to that?
The live action for any anime that we've been in, One Piece or anything else? I met the live action actor for Mihawk, and he's the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. He's the coolest dude in the world. We were in a convention in Saudi Arabia. That's where we met, and we're all showing up at this thing. We've had these 15-hour flights, and we're showing up at 5 in the morning to this Hilton, and we're meeting in the lobby. I said, "Hey, Steven, I'm John. I play Mihawk in One Piece in the anime." He goes, "Oh my God, I'm nerding out." I said, "You're nerding out? What the hell's going on?" He gives money to animal charities. He's a family man. He doesn't put up with any BS from me. He's the sweetest dude in the world. So I couldn't be happier that he played Mihawk. And he said that when he studied it, he heard about it, he studied the anime, he listened to my voice as a bass, and then he added Scar from like Lion King on top of it to give it some of his own little flavor. And I think they did an amazing job on One Piece live action, but I couldn't be happier about that.
The Yu Yu Hakusho live action was pretty good. I thought EA's character design was a little lighter. I wish it was a little darker. That's probably my only real critique.
I haven't seen any of the live action Dragon Ball Z. I mean, no.
Don't worry, nobody has.
I know.
Shots fired.
I heard one of the guys, James Marston, or I don't know, there was somebody, he said, I was walking down the hall with him, and he said, after. I'm like, so, he was asking a question, he says, don't watch it. They ruined it. And I'm like, gosh, he was in it. You got to. I'm like, I can't believe he's dogging his own stuff. But hey, we all have an opinion whether we would work on it or not. So.
I think we have time for one more question. Oh wait, now there's 4 hands. Who put their hand up first, Mikey? You're gonna have to judge.
I saw the hit your first, but
okay.
We can do too quick.
Yeah, we can do too quick, probably.
Hello. Being in the industry, I was wondering, do y'all like the series that y'all do, where y'all read more of it in manga beyond what you're working on, or are there like your guilty pleasures, specific anime that y'all like, oh, I have to watch that week to week?
I mean, I'm just a weeb, so I've read everything that I'm in, basically. I know the endings of all my shows.
See, for me personally, I grew up on anime and I enjoy anime, but I have to be like in the mood to really watch anime. And when it comes to stuff like bluelock and the manga and stuff, like I like to know big plot points, what's coming down, but I also like to keep the minute details like a surprise, just because working on it keeps it fresh for me. So like I actually, unless it's already out, I kind of actually stay away from it, just depending on what it is.
I'm very conceited, so if I'm in it, I definitely want to know about it. But no, I definitely think that I've told tons of people this story, so they probably already know. But I grew up in a very country western family, so we didn't watch those Japanese cartoons. But after I got cast in the first show that I did, it really like lit a fire in me. And what's strange is I'm yet to do a show, and I'm sure other people aren't this way, but I'm yet to do a show that I don't just absolutely love consuming as much media about as I can. Like whether it's bluelock, Natsume, Kaiju, I just really enjoy and not just like my parts, you know what I mean? It's like, for whatever reason, I think storytelling is a really beautiful, way to go through life, and it doesn't seem to matter what genre it is. If you put it in front of me, I want to consume it. So, yeah.
I don't really watch anything except the news at night, maybe Jimmy Kimmel or I stay so busy. If I could, someday I will sit down, because I like to pick out the voices, like especially the old school voices, like of the like Chuck's shows. Like I wasn't in it, but I could probably pick out. That's Cynthia France, or that's Lindy. That I think it'd be like fun to like pick out the voices, because I'm usually pretty good at knowing who's doing the voice.
I think that's really fun too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
like trivia.
I especially love it with Drew, because Drew's really good at kind of doing a few different types of voices. So I love to watch anything that he's in, because I'll be like, he actually sounds like that, or whoa, he can do that. What? It's really fun. It's like sports. If you know the actors in it, it makes it even more fun, because you get to enjoy their journey. Yeah, and support them. It's awesome. You know how it is. It's fun to support your friends. It's fun.
All right, last question, because this cosplay is awesome. Look at it.
On the topic of like researching the anime before y'all do it, when you watch the sub before making the dub, does hearing the Japanese voices influence your work at all? Like, do you want to match it or try to put your own spin on it?
It completely depends on the director, on the situation. Sometimes yes. I mean, they hired the Japanese actor in the original series for a reason. They wanted it to sound a certain way, right? So there is, I think for myself, I go in starting there because you want to respect that. But you also definitely, you're a different actor, you want to add your own flavor to it, and sometimes the director wants to go in a different direction. So it just depends. But yeah, but when I go into a studio, I kind of focus not only how the actor sounded, but also what does the character look like? That to me triggers a lot of, it's something in my voice. That's just me as an actor. I see the face and I go, what voice would I put to that? And I listen to it, and so it's kind of a combination of the two, actually.
Yeah, to add on to that, it's basically everything that we hear. I try to match my closest I can to the Japanese. Can't always do it. Sometimes I'll get cast as characters that are voiced by girls in the Japanese, so I gotta do something completely different. Sometimes it's something that's just completely different from my voice, like One Piece. Zeus's Seiyu is doing a very old man voice, and that is just not me. So instead, I looked at him. It was a very sprung up on me session where we were just going through some One Piece, and director's like, you know what, you're gonna play Zeus today, and I'm like, cool. Don't know who that is. All right. And I heard it. I'm like, old man, can't do that. Fluffy Cloud. How do I think about that? And I just thought of a dude I knew in high school, and he just laughed like, and I'm like, what if I just made that a character? So then it just came out where Zeus goes, hey mama, how's it going? And he just sounds like a dopey clown. So it just comes to you sometimes.
For me, it really depends on how much time I have, because sometimes, you get called in to do it the next day, and that only gives you so much time. But I have a general rule of thumb that I do, which I think you spoke earlier about. It depends on what the director wants. So I always have that in my head. I always go in there with an improv mindset of, okay, well, whatever feedback I get, I'm going to take that and try to work my best to that. But my general rule of thumb is, if the time is allotted, which 9 times out of 10 isn't, I will have two versions in my pocket, which will be, okay, I'm going to do the best that I can to stick with the Japanese route, and also what is my creative take. And that way, for me, when I go in, if the director says, hey, just put your own flavor on it, I can go, okay, green light, I'll put my flavor on it. If they say, hey, yeah, this is the character, and I'm listening to the director, I'm like, okay, he's pretty much reciting what I saw visually and heard audibly from the Japanese, then I'll go with that version. And that's just how I tend to do it.
What Matt said.
All All right. So, hey, everybody, if we didn't get to your question, you can find them in the exhibitor hall and ask them the questions there.
Come
Also,
see us.
Some
Come
of
see
them
us at
have
the tables.
individual panels later on in the weekend, so check that out. And thanks for coming. Let's hear a big round of applause.
Thank you, guys.